1:30 p.m. on Star Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Check me out.
He tells me my energy is making him tired.
Yes!
How do you get the energy to do that?
I've been told that I have a lot of energy, but my goodness, I think today I have met my match, people. I have met my match, Miss Suzanne. Wow, amazing.
One of the things that's the start of digging the hole of darkness.
So what did that
Myself and the world in a just. And 2019.
Forget the proverbial boardroom. Join me, Simone Frazier, on The CEO, the program that gives you the driving seat over your life. Every Tuesday, 8 p.m. only on Star Radio.
Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and intact? You are not sure? Well, Lamb Shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of a prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination intact. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well, Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820. Or you can visit our website www.welllamp.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@welllamp@gmail.com. Well Lamp Shippers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy.
Hi there. Are you dreaming of owning your own house in Ghana? Then you will need a well-documented piece of land that is free from troubles. I highly recommend My Africa Property for any size of land that you will need. With My Africa Property, lands are available in Pram, Sopoli, Tohenia, Ogome, Dodova, Winneba, and many other locations at affordable prices. These locations are about an hour away from the airport, only 35 minutes from the motorway, 10 minutes drive from Central University College, 10 minutes drive to the beach, and close to Pram Senior High School and Ghana Men's Soccer Center of Excellence. For more details, visit our website www.myafricaproperty.com or call our UK office on 0208 123 2523. For our US and Canada offices, call us on +1 585 184 994145. You can also email us at ghana@myafricaproperty.com.
Tune in to On Point here on Star Radio UK with.
Right, this is, by the way, you see that movement also on the streets of Israel, which also many Israelis, probably about half of Israelis, do look at this government as extremist government, as irresponsible governments, and they say so. And I can tell you that I do pity Benjamin Netanyahu, the prime minister, because he built a coalition where many of his ministers very much are on his right and actually pushing him for more action. And he has been the one actually who is keeping it in a kind of a normal way. But Israelis are not happy with his government. All the surveys and the polls show if elections were held today, this government would not be in power anymore.
Danny, thanks so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
My pleasure.
The High Court is hearing a case brought by 5 Tory-led councils today challenging the Mayor of London's plans to expand ULEZ, the ultra-low emissions zone, to the whole of London. Harrow, Hillingdon, Bromley, Brexley and Surrey are calling for a judicial review of Sadiq Khan's plans, arguing they exceed his powers. Leader of the Bromley Council, Colin Smith, told Sky News earlier that Khan should continue to concentrate his efforts on inner London.
We wish it hadn't had to come to this. The reason we're doing it is his ambition to push ULEZ out virtually to the M25 boundary of outer London that isn't actually going to improve air quality. That's the real tragedy of this. Air is cleaner than every single borough in the existing ULEZ. So logically, why would you start in outer London? You'd surely take further measures in inner London, such as improving the mess in the tube network.
Climate change and energy correspondent Hannah Thomas-Peter is outside the Royal Courts of Justice in London. And just talk us through what the implications are of this challenge. If successful, does it only relate to their councils, or would it have knock-on implications for even inner London?
The challenge is specifically to do with expanding ULEZ beyond where it currently is, not rolling back the existing ULEZ patch that runs to the North and South Circular around London. But really more than that, this is a test of green policy and people's tolerance for change when it really kind of meddles in their life. And there are broader complaints beyond the one we just heard from the councillor there. I'm sure you can see some protesters behind me. They are gathered to make their voices heard at this hearing. They are saying that the ULEZ expansion amounts to a tax on the poor, that it's regressive, that it's going to severely impact people's abilities to keep their businesses going, to take their children to school, to live their lives. Even so, Mayor Sadiq Khan is utterly unrepentant about the process he's run, about the scrappage scheme he's offering, about the consultation process and about the legality of the scheme, because for him, this is a life and death issue. It's about public health. And in an interview with me last week, he likened it to the moment when smoking in public places was being rolled back.
I remember as a parliamentarian voting to ban smoking in public places, huge amount of opposition, to the point when the then Labour government decided to give us a free vote. It wasn't a whipped vote. We were told pubs would close down, live music venues would close down, restaurants would close down when you couldn't smoke in public places. We know that air pollution across our country, according to the government's own figures, leads to up to 36,000 deaths a year in London. It leads to around 4,000 premature deaths a year. It leads to children having stunted lungs forever, and adults with a whole host of health issues from asthma to cancer, dementia to heart disease. We know what causes these illnesses, which is the toxicity from transport. I think we've got to do something about it.
The hearing's underway now. We expect it to run into tomorrow, at which point the judge could make a decision that the scheme was unlawful, that it needs to be paused, that the consultation process needs to run again, or the judge could decide that it could go ahead as planned. We will know much more tomorrow, but expect that to be a key moment on this legacy issue for Mayor Sadiq Khan.
Hannah, thanks so much. You're watching Sky News Today with Wilfred Frost. Still to come, as the former Health Secretary Sajid Javid says the NHS is unsustainable. We'll hear from the Professor of Nursing Policy at King's College, Dame Anne-Marie Rafferty. We'll be right back.
I'm David Blevins, and I'm Sky's senior.
Looking for a new way to stay refreshed and hydrated? Look no further than iRange Hydration Drink. iRange is perfect for any situation where you need a little pick-me-up. It's low in calories and has a delicious orange flavor that you will love. So don't wait any longer. Grab a can of iRange today and start enjoying the refreshing. Buy online at irange.co.uk.
iOrange is the brand new hydration drink developed with bold, thirst-quenching orange flavor to refresh and replenish. iOrange was created to fill the void where great taste meets functionality. With bold, thirst-quenching orange flavor to help you refresh, replenish, and refuel.
We help you understand the world with us.
Today, we have reached an agreement with the Conservative Party on support for government in Parliament.
We already know what the government gets out of this deal. What exactly does the DUP get out of it? Well, £1.5 billion. Welcome to Winterfell. It's an iconic location in this globally acclaimed drama. Ophelia was the most powerful hurricane this far east in the Atlantic on record. You can't live in a place like this and not appreciate the environment.
Welcome back. The NHS turns 75 tomorrow, but the anniversary takes place at a time of major concern about the health of the health service. The former Health Secretary Sajid Javid has written in the Times today calling for a royal commission on the future of the NHS and arguing that both the Conservatives and Labour privately concede that the NHS is unsustainable and cannot cope with surging levels of demand. Well, Dame Anne-Marie Rafferty is Professor of Nursing Policy at King's College and a former President of the Royal College of Nursing and joins me now. Thanks so much for joining me, Dame Anne-Marie. I mean, this article is really quite interesting from obviously a former health secretary. And the standout point to me is the fact that he says spending day to day on healthcare has risen from 27% at the start of the century to 44% of total public spending. I mean, that certainly highlights the extraordinary increase in cost. Probably, I think it's fair to say, without the same increase in overall outcomes.
Well, I think the jump in spending does look impressive as it's presented, but actually if you look at comparative figures, then the UK spend on health is actually only average. You know, we're somewhere between Slovakia and, we're closer to Slovakia than we are to Switzerland, for example. So to some extent, you get out of the system what you actually put into it. And I think that though those figures do look impressive, that they're clearly not enough to be shifting the mortality curves that I think have caught the headlines recently.
I mean, clearly there's other factors like an aging population, there's wildcard factors and a longer life expectancy, wildcard factors like the pandemic, which obviously would make it harder to yield better results per unit of total revenue going into it. But regardless of the comparisons to other countries, I mean, does this sort of data suggest that money is not the only answer?
I think that's part of the answer. Yes, money's not the only thing. I guess the issue with the NHS is it's a very complex organisation, and any remedies need to work almost like a kind of octopus, you know, many moving parts at the same time. So we've got a workforce plan that's absolutely fantastic, long awaited. It's not a perfect plan, but it's a great position to start to really improve the numbers of staffing. We've seen the staffing crisis, we've seen in this industrial action, and we're still seeing industrial action playing out and in fact being added to by a new group, radiographers. So there's a huge challenge for the workforce, there's a huge challenge for capital spending, which has definitely fallen behind many of our European peers. I mean, certainly our research has demonstrated that compared to our European peer countries in their staffing, we are behind. We're in the lowest quartile of staffing numbers with some of the most burnt out staff in Europe. And so between that and then the need to actually shift towards a more preventative service, we've been saying that since the NHS was actually started. It's very, very difficult to do because, you know, over time, hospitals have become more and more greedy, if you like, in their consumption of the share of the NHS budget. And certainly that care curve has got to shift into the community. But to do that, you need to build capacity in the community first. And for some of the time, you're probably going to have to double run services. So that's not an easy trick to pull off. The real challenge, I think, is actually implementing these changes and doing several things at the one time to really pull those policy levers in a very positive direction.
So just finally, I mean, I think that the other standout point in his article is he suggests that actually all sides of the political aisle agree that the current system isn't necessarily working, but the politics of it all doesn't allow that debate to happen. I wonder whether you agree with that. You've dealt with all political sides in your career, and whether you agree with his ultimate conclusion that a royal commission is needed to, quote, break the deadlock.
Well, the Royal Commission is a lumbering beast, actually, and it takes a long time. And to some extent, I wouldn't really support that. Yes, I support all parties getting round the table. There needs to be a better mechanism in order to really take the NHS out of the political football game that it currently sits in. And, you know, there is a Times Health Commission currently running. That article was published in the Times. And hopefully that will provide more of a lightning rod set of solutions that we can actually move forward. But I mean, let's remember as well that the NHS does accomplish a huge amount. It's not all negative news. I mean, there are millions of GP appointments, you know, every day. There are long waiting lists, but there are still people being treated in new and innovative ways. There are vaccines, there's health sciences being developed and new therapies, you know, on a daily basis. So there's lots to be really proud of and cheer about at the birthday of the NHS. But there are some long-standing issues: the workforce, the capital, the shift towards prevention that we still need to get the shoulder to the wheel on.
Dame Anne-Marie, thanks so much for joining me.
You're welcome.
Quick bit of breaking news as we go to break. NATO has agreed to extend Secretary-General Jens Stoltenberg's term to October 2024. Of course, it was due to come up. There's talk even of whether Ben Wallace would be considered. That's already been put to bed, but as a successor. But clearly there'll be no successor now for a couple more years. I guess not all that surprising, given that we're in the middle of a war on Europe's eastern flank. Well, we'll get immediate reaction to that with our guest coming up next on Sky News Today with Wilfred Frost. We'll be talking to Sir Nigel Sheinwald. He was UK ambassador to the US. He was permanent secretary to Europe and Tony Blair's defence and security advisor. We'll discuss that with him and very much more, including the latest from the West Bank.
Looking for a new way to stay refreshed and hydrated? Look no further than iRange Hydration Drink. iRange is perfect for any situation where you need a little pick-me-up. It's low in calories and has a delicious orange flavor that you will love. So don't wait any longer. Grab a can of iRange today and start enjoying the refreshing. Buy online at irange.co.uk.
SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Check me out. He tells me my energy is making him tired.
Yes!
How do you get the energy to do
I've been told that I have a lot of energy, but my goodness, I think today I have met my match people. I have met my matchless Suzanne. Wow, amazing.
One of the things that's the start of the darkness. The whole of darkness.
So what did that
Myself and the world will adjust. And 2019.
Forget the proverbial boardroom. Join me, Simone Frazier, on the CEO, the program that gives you the driving seat over your life. Every Tuesday, 8 p.m. only on Starr Radio.
Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and in time? You are not sure? Well, Lamb Shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of a prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination in time. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well, Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820. Or you can visit our website www.welllamp.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@welllamp@gmail.com. Well Lamp Shippers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy.
Hi there. Are you dreaming of owning your own house in Ghana? Then you will need a well-documented piece of land that is free from troubles. I highly recommend My Africa Property for any size of land that you will need. With My Africa Property, lands are available in Pram, Sopoli, Tohenia, Ogome, Dodova, Winneba, and many other locations at affordable prices. These locations are about an hour away from the airport, only 35 minutes from the motorway, 10 minutes drive from Central University College, 10 minutes drive to the beach, and close to Pram Senior High School and Ghana Men's Soccer Center of Excellence. For more details, visit our website www.myafricaproperty.com or call our UK office on 0208 123 2523. For our US and Canada offices, call us on +1 585 184 994145. You can also email us at ghana@myafricaproperty.com.
Tune in to On Point here on Starr Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
Getting onto the property ladder has never been easy until now. Join us this and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour show on Starr Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agents, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour show is your best source into the property industry.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Vedasse.
The best radio show. Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
Broadcasting live online. Broadcasting live online. Turn it up.
Hi there, this is CJ Buckman, your life coach. And whenever I'm in London, I listen to Star Radio UK right here. But guess what? You can listen to wherever you are.
In your car,
At work.
at home.
On your smartphone.
This is Star Radio UK.
Are you ready to turn it up?
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Your heart is aching. Smile even though it's breaking. When there are clouds in the sky, you get by. If you smile through your fear and sorrow, smile and maybe tomorrow you find that life is still worthwhile if you just smile. Hey, this is Archie and you are listening to Star Radio UK and The Morning Show.
This is Star Radio. This is UK. Star Radio UK. This is Star Radio UK.
Welcome. Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
Love for you runs deep.
Enlighten your day with Star Radio.
All of you makes my heart beat. You make a doubt they fade. Jesus, and that's what makes you great. You hold the world in your hands. The hand that made me who I.
Okay, let me say massive good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good dawn to you wherever you might be on planet Earth and those of you on other planets as well. We want to salute each and every one of you and we want to say welcome to the Tuesday edition of the morning show. Today is the 4th day of July, the year 2023. The time now 10:41 from the heart of London. I say welcome on board to the Star Radio UK flight. And it's a flight that takes you to the noon, bringing everything that you need to know to your doorsteps wherever you might be when it comes to information. So as I say all the time, from archaeology to zoology, from Accra to Zanzibar, if it's making the headlines, be rest assured that I'm going to touch it. But you know what you can do for me? Share the broadcast with your friends and loved ones and invite them to like our pages, as some of our lovely listeners have already done. And also, if you are standing, hold on to something. If you are sitting, sit very comfortably, buckle up, get yourself a hot or cold drink, whichever is appropriate, and let's take this journey. All of you I remain yours sincerely, the one and only.
This is the morning show with Archie.
So let me say good morning to my team this morning, Miss Olayomi, Koiki, and my able producer, Mr. Francis Guy. To Felix on the way in Aberdeen, good morning to you. He listens to us every time. He's a very busy man, but you know, he finds the time to do so. Kojodi, good morning to you. Dr. Martin, good morning. Kovi Ali Abdul Yakin, I salute you. And Mr. Malik Dramani Mahama, good morning to you as well. My Bishop Adeshina, and all the wonderful crew or colleagues at the RBS office in Nigeria, I salute you. But somehow, good morning to you. Olakunle, good morning. Prince Adekunle, good morning to you. Prince, I hope you are doing good as well. And to all our wonderful listeners from across the globe, I salute each and every one of you. I say it once again, as I will normally do. Welcome on board, welcome on board, welcome on board. So, okay, let's crack on to some of the stories or what we're going to be, the program outline is going to be today. Let me put it that way. Yes, I'm going to bring you the quote for the day. The weather forecast will follow suit. Then the travel updates as well. We'll move on from there to have a look at some of the stories making the rounds across the globe. And it's known as Global Trotting. We'll move on from thence. 7 o'clock, having Ms. Olayomi Koiki coming in to bring you updates from Nigeria. The imminent hike in price, Nigeria bread producers are talking about it. And gunmen kill Bono community guard, abducts 2 others. To what end? Well, we'll tell you more about all those things when it comes to the updates from Nigeria, which Mr. Olayomi Koiki will be bringing you details of. Then we'll move on from there to look at some of the other stories making the rounds from across the globe. Then until 12 o'clock, the lines are open for you to add your voice to the discussion. At 12:30, we'll bring the curtains down for the end of the program. So in a gist, that's what's going to happen today. But tell your friend to tell your friend to tell a friend. The Starr Radio UK morning show is on. Archie is here, therefore happiness is near. Welcome on board. And that's what makes you great. So the quote for the day says the concept of luck in the whole success phenomenon renders human beings as passive creatures who wait in line for their chance for success and do nothing but wait. Ha ha ha! You gotta do something. Okay. I'm moving on straight to the weather front. Well, last night and a few nights ago has been a nice weather when it comes to the weather, of course. So when we're sleeping, we're able to sleep a bit better than it's been of late. So this is how the weather is going to be for you today. For those of you in London and the southeast of England, well, expecting rain becoming heavier and possibly thundering in a few places later this afternoon, lingering for many until the end of the day as it slowly starts to clear southeastwards. Now the rain will linger for most this evening, although overnight there will be increasingly clear skies as the spells of rain clear eastwards in the North Sea. Clearer skies will develop around dawn. Top temperature is going to be 18 degrees, the lowest is going to be 11 degrees. Pollen level moderate, UV level low, pollution low, sunset 21:20, and sunrise for tomorrow morning 04:49 hours. And that brings us to the end of the weather forecast for you today. Share with me what is happening in your weather front, and I promise you one thing, I'll share it with worldwide listenership. Okay. Alright then, let's take this quick commercial break, and once we come back, I'll bring you the travel updates.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Is the brand new hydration drink developed with bold, thirst-quenching orange flavor to refresh and replenish. iOrange was created to fill the void where great taste meets functionality. With bold, thirst-quenching orange flavor to help you refresh, replenish, and refuel.
This is Starr Radio UK.
Okay, so keep your eyes on the roads, as you keep it navigated. I promise I'll born the moment you hear that tune. You know that is a travel update from Starr Radio UK that is coming your way from every day from 10:40 onwards. We'll bring you the travel update, but you can share with us what is happening in your area or whichever you are listening to, wherever you are listening to us from. But we got a worldwide listenership and therefore it will benefit them. You don't know. Maybe somebody traveling from Kumasi to Accra and there's some incident there. Share it with us. Or from Apapa to what? Oworosonki. Yeah, share with us and we'll be sharing with our wonderful listeners. But now, let me tell you what is happening here in the UK front when it comes to your travel updates, especially those of you in the London area. Well, on the underground this morning, Northern Line has got no service between Edgware and Camden Town due to a faulty train at Hampstead. Severe delays between Camden Town and Kennington via Bank. Minor delays to the rest of the line. Tickets have been accepted on London buses. Good service on the rest of the line, though. That aside, all the other underground lines have got good service. DLR, London Tram Link, and London Overground, good service there as well. But that will take me straight to the major roads in London, where A1, A3, and North Circular A406 have all got serious delays, and therefore, if you can avoid it, do your best to do so. But keep your eyes on the roads. Keep your eyes on the roads as you keep you navigated. On the riverbank this morning, as we've been announcing, the Woolwich area has got reduced service. That aside, all the others, good service there. I'll take you straight to the London Cable Car. On the London Cable Car this morning, I can tell you shortly, it's good, running a good service there as well. But keep your eyes on the roads. Keep your eyes on the roads as we keep you navigated. I promise. Our bond, the Starr Radio UK travel update that comes your way every weekday from 10:40. Okay, we're going to be moving on to the final segment of the travel update, and that is the National Rail. So on the National Rail this morning, we've got Avanti West Coast, C2C, Cross Country, Northern Rail, and Transport for Wales, which have all got minor delays. And then we got First Transparent Express, Great Western Railway, Southwestern Railway, and Southern, who have got special service. Okay, so on that note, that is where I bring the update to a close. But as I would say all the time, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good dawn to you wherever you might be on planet Earth. Enjoy your commute for today, but you know what? Continue to keep those eyes on the roads.
Orange is the brand new hydration drink developed with bold, thirst-quenching orange flavor to refresh and replenish. iOrange was created to fill the void where great taste meets functionality. With bold, thirst-quenching orange flavor to help you refresh, replenish, and refuel.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Okay, so welcome back to the program Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Just bear with us, there's a bit of a flickering of the internet there. That seems to be causing me or giving me a bit of challenge about. It is Starr Radio UK, it is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station. Everything will be working very well because I've got Mr. Francis Guy here and the technical team seeing to it that everything goes along nicely. Alright then. But this afternoon, exactly at 1:30, BB Clement will be coming your way with BB Means Business. It's going to be another smasher of a program. So we want to invite you to join in on the program wherever you might be. Okay, welcome, welcome, welcome. It's now time for Global Trotting. And let's move on. Let's move on for that. Okay. Now, when it comes to some of the stories making the rounds this morning in Nigeria, brace up for the imminent hike in price. Nigeria bread producers are saying, well, whatever they have, price that they are selling at, people are struggling. Now they're saying that, you know what, you have to brace up. Now, why? What's the problem there? Okay, they'll have to use electricity or whatever that they use for their ovens, and then the material that they have to use, and the ingredients that they have to use to prepare all this. Well, it costs all money, transportation. Well, so that's what they're saying. But we'll be telling you more about that as well. Now, gunmen kill Borno community guard and abduct 2 others. Unknown gunmen on Monday stormed Ugba community in the Logo local government area of Borno State shot dead a member of the Borno State Community Volunteers Guards, and interestingly, abducted a couple of people as well. Now, Tribunal admits EU report as exhibit on presidential poll. My goodness, the Presidential Election Petition Court in Abuja on Monday admitted in evidence the final report of the European Union Observer Mission on the February 25 presidential election. And I've been asking the question, do you think that will turn the outcome of the tribunal hearing? INEC technical director tells tribunal presidential results server crashed on election day. But they were saying that they managed to load everything on the how did it crash? And then 2023 elections, EU lists Keyamo Fanikayode among top fake news peddlers there. And then Nigeria, UK Migration Justice and Home office dialogue seem to be going on. A lot more going to be coming your way from there when it comes to the updates from Nigeria. But wherever you are at the moment, just stay glued to your sets and let us continue and share the broadcast with your friends and loved ones. Invite them to like our pages as well. Star Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. In other parts of the world as well, family of jailed British Egyptian activists lead vigil to demand his release. Now, do you think that we are not doing much for somebody like Nnamdi Kanu? Do you think we are doing, that's what we seem to be doing? We're not doing much for him? Is that what is going on there? I want you to tell me more about that. And in Senegal, Macky Sall rules out controversial third term. Okay, so at least that will appease others. The presidential polls to run and not to run, that is Macky Sall's question. Okay, so he said it's not going to be running. U.S. measures will ban products containing mineral mined with child labor in DRC. Where are the signs that shows that this particular product is from DRC and is from a place where we had children mining? How will you know? Okay, because they come with their helicopters or their jets, land in there, load, they are gone. There's nothing there's nothing that actually checks them there. Okay, the RSF forces man a checkpoint in Omodurman as battle continues. Khartoum residents said they were shaken awake by warplanes and violent fighting between forces loyal to Army Chief Abdel Fattah al-Burhan, and that pertains to Sudan. All right then. Now let's move on to some other stories making the rounds across the globe. This time round in Ghana as well. Okay, it's loading but slowly. Your recent comments transgress permissible limits of free speech, AG warns critics. Well, the way they've been acting leaves a big room for questioning. All right then. 300,000 coalition of individual bondholders members to picket at the Ministry of Finance on July 6th. We'll be telling you more about that. You can't use us as a scapegoat over failed policies, not to government. That's what Nat is telling government. Okay, and court grants Aisha 1 week to file witness statement. All right then, we'll be saying that that's been the case. It goes forward and comes forward and everything that goes on there. But well, that's what it's saying. Now, Alan Chairman commences Greater Accra tour today, and then I will recommend Domahini sacking if I was on Judiciary Council Disciplinary Committee. Sam Okujato is saying. Why? Because he said that they should discontinue the case against the MP elect Judge Kwesi. So he thinks that, well, everybody got an opinion, right? Okay, so it is all coming your way from Star Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. It will be a good thing to enter a nolly prosecutor in Kwesi's case. Ayikwe Otu is also saying there. So Ayikwe Otu is of the MPP, and we have Sam Okujato, who is of the MPP as well. But both sides are saying different things. Let's see what will happen on that front. But it's all coming away from Star Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Now, 3 ex-workers accuse National Cathedral architect of sexual misconduct. More going to be coming away from there. It is Star Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. In other parts of the world as well, average 5-year fixed mortgage rate above 6%. Now, homeowners face higher costs as the rates for both 2 and 5-year fixed deals are now above 6%. And then petrol stations accused of pocketing fuel duty cut. Wow. The Treasury Select Committee chair claims retailers, not customers, benefited from the tax cut. I'm going to ask that. That's where I buy my fuel from. And I'm going to see them cash back. All right then. Now, forces are failing women over police misconduct claims. In one case, a woman says a detective pursued a sexual relationship with her and continued to harass her. It's all coming away from Star Radio UK. Now, in other parts of the world, West Bank operation almost complete, says Israel, as thousands flee. 10 Palestinians have been killed in the air and ground assault in the West Bank city, officials have said. And then days we were in hell, says French mayor. A mayor in one of France's poorest areas wants the state to take tougher measures against rioters. I think I agree with them there. They have to take tougher measures. And Moscow airport flights disrupted by drone attacks. Now, Russia Defense Ministry says 5 Ukrainian drones were shot down in the Moscow region. Okay, Putin says sanctions making Russia stronger. Russia President Vladimir Putin says sanctions are making them stronger. And I sincerely apologize for the break in the transmission. I think we're having a bit of an challenge there, but just bear with us while the technical teams try to work on it. But now, let's take a musical break whilst we wait for Mr. Olayomi Koiki to join in. Stay tuned, don't you go away.
Sounds like this. Hey, my God is good, oh. Hey, my God is good, oh. Wake up and I will sing my praise unto you, my Lord.
Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7. On your smartphone.
Hey, my God is good. My God is good. My God is good. I wake up and I will sing my praise unto you, my Lord, and I will shout and dance to you, for you have been my help another level. Hey, my God is good. Oh. My God is good. Oh. My God is good. Oh. Sing it again. My God is good. Oh. My God is good, oh. My God is good, oh. My God is good,
right there. Star Radio UK. Something from Joshua Avila. Playing some African tune there. But I hope that I put some vim in your steps this morning. So wherever you are enjoying the Star Radio UK morning show. But it's not gone. Whoa, 4 minutes past the top of the hour. And let me sincerely apologize for those of you on Twitter. It's flickering there. And a bit of you on the Facebook as well, flickering. But we won't be telling the technical team are working on it. And they will make sure that it's stabilized. But it's the time that you need to know. I'm going to bring you my main man, Mr. Olayomi Koiki, the White Lion himself, this morning to bring you all the updates that you need to know when it comes to Nigeria. But do me a massive favor, share the broadcast with your friends and loved ones and invite them to like our pages. Come say, Yomi, massive good morning to you.
Well, a very good morning to you, Mr. Archie. Good morning to all our listeners and viewers around the globe, and welcome to the the Tuesday edition of the morning show. It is the 4th of July 2023, and as we say to all our listeners from the other part of America, Happy Independence Day.
Oh yeah, Happy Independence Day for all our American listeners. Yes. I need to send messages, but I know that they are sleeping now. But I know some of them are up. Comfort, good morning to you. Mo, good morning to you as well. Anthony Adedeji, good morning to you, and all of you folks there. We salute each and every one of you. But Yomi, how have you been overnight?
Well, it's been a beautiful, night. The weather is a little bit windy, though. I haven't been out already this morning as usual because of other engagement and activities. But apart from that, a little bit more relaxing. It's just that we look forward to the week. I was actually, and we hope that Star Radio UK will be broadcasting from the Wimbledon. I don't know whether you've been following that. The Wimbledon 2023. I was able to catch up, with some of the game yesterday between the two Americans, and looking back to it, it seems that from what I was able to look up to, it seems that we've got some, one or two Nigerians that have passed through Wimbledon as well. So we promise our listeners around the world that Star Radio UK will be at the very close to the Wimbledon ground, where we will be broadcasting from. When you look at the Wimbledon, you could tell that is one of those sporting events that is always looking up to. That tells you we are now in the strawberry, the tea cakes, the English tea, and that tells you that we are in summer. And yesterday was literally also the full moon. For those that are not aware, you get everything here on the Star Radio UK network, and if you're able to miss that, just stick to Star Radio UK, where we tell you the traffic heading to Wimbledon, because that is a very busy traffic, when you're going towards that side.
Well, listeners, that is some information for you. As we say, from archaeology to zoology, from Accra to Zanzibar, if it's making the headlines, we bring your way, and that's one of the things that we brought your way. But let's go to Nigeria for some of the stories making the rounds this morning. Yomi, the bread sellers. Now, but okay, let me take it from the picture behind you so that we can just go on. We have an abduction, an attack and abduction that has taken place. I was thinking, I always think about the states, the various states where we were calling for the states to have its own police force, because they know their area and they'll be able to deal with such insurgency. They'll be able to spot people who they said that this one is not from the area. However, this one, a guard was killed. So this guard will be one from the local community. So can you tell us more about that, Yomi?
What you're looking at is the Nigeria is a very interesting place. That is the former governor Sani Yerima. He is the former governor of one of the most states that have also have havoc by the Fulani terrorists. But it seems that his own views in dealing with what he called the bandits is like those that also were fighting, and they had to get what they called a bit of amnesty from the federal government, especially during the time of the Yaradua, when the chaos that was going on in the oil industry, the blow up of the pipeline. It seems that Yerima is now saying after a visit to the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and I'm going to be telling you that Bola Ahmed Tinubu as well did have what they call engagement for the first time after he returned back. I told you he's returned back to Abuja yesterday, and that means he had meeting with his service chief right there. We're going to be coming back to that. But Yerima is saying that bandits are poor people, ignorant Nigerians. Tinubu should rehabilitate them like the Boko Haram. Seni Yerima. I believe that as Nigerians, if they are called upon by the government, the major causes of this problem, banditry, is poverty and ignorance, and that literally means that the current president should dialogue with them. I will come back to who needs to be dialogue with, because nobody knows who the leaders are. They are fractions. They are like clusters, operating in different part of Nigeria. We told you yesterday that there was an attack in Ogun State. It's not just Ogun State, almost every part of Nigeria. But why is the former governor recall that the former president Umaru Musa Yar'Adua that died had a similar interaction with the Niger Delta? It seems that he believes that if you can negotiate with that, then there shouldn't be any reason why we shouldn't negotiate with the bandit.
Well, that's quite an interesting one. We have a story where bandits came to a community, killed a security person, abducted 2 people. You say that, you know what, they are not well informed, so we need to get them, educate them, and then reintegrate them into the society. Now, so everybody should be given a second chance, right? So those who are saying that our people, our communities are being rampaged and ripped and everything is being destroyed by them, also have to be given a second chance. But nobody seems to be talking about that. Yomi.
Well, you're quite right, because looking at the activities of these criminals that have been operating without impunity, it's all about the money aspect. I mean, 5 million naira is a lot of money for an average Nigerian, and when these individuals end up kidnapping Nigerians have to sell things, have to borrow just to save their life, because there's no government in place. I mean, even though Bola Tinubu, from his engagement yesterday with some of the service chiefs in Aso Rock, Abuja, as again from the NSA, Nuru Rebado is saying that it seems that Bola Tinubu wants them to be up in their game. But how do you negotiate with banditry is the question. Yerima believes that the government, is not about the gun and killing them. We must negotiate with them. Previous effort to get the bandit to lay down their weapons have proved unsuccessful. It has been tried before. Money was pumped into that by the governor of Kaduna State, the former governor El Rufai, but it seemed that did not work. Making reference to the ex-president Muhammadu Buhari's regime, rehabilitating the Boko Haram insurgents who have killed about 350,000 people in the northeast since they took up arms against the Nigerian state in 2009. And this is where, again, you look at it and ask the question, Nnamdi Kanu is being kept, in the custody of the DSS by the federal government. Chief Dr. Sunday Igboho was attacked, almost killed, July 21. As many Nigerians then ask the question, these are individuals that have not carried arms, they've not carried kidnapping cases, they've not asked anyone to kill anybody, apart from the new intelligence that is coming out by one woman called Dukbo Nitiri, that is now trying to bring machinery into the Yoruba land to create what might be similar to the banditry and the kidnapping, because intelligence that got us to us, some few hours ago indicated that she's trying to bring machineries, Africans into Nigeria, into the Yoruba territory, because she wants to create what they call the interim government by fire, by force.
It's interesting. It's interesting. Her quest to create the Yoruba state or nation, and with everything that is going on, and behind Mr. Olayomi Koiki is the pictures of the service chiefs, and the question is, what are they doing at the moment? What have they got up their sleeves to roll up so that we can see or we can know what? But what has been the response of the federal government this morning pertaining to the statement that this former governor has made?
Well, I've been following to see if there has been any response yet from the government, but that hasn't happened yet. But what I can confirm is that yes, Bola Ahmed Tinubu met with the service chief yesterday, and I'll be telling you what we know so far in terms of the discussion with them. One important thing is that experts are tasking Tinubu to now declare. So that's a different headline as well. Let's come back to. I want to pick up where Tinubu met with the service chief yesterday. It seems that has run away out of the screen, but we'll come back to that in just about a few minutes. You're asking whether Tinubu has responded to the former governor of Zamfara State in regard to the banditry, giving them this amnesty, and probably maybe that will bring down the situation in Nigeria. What I can say is that I'm not too sure whether that would make any impact, but I'm going to bring up the story of what actually was the discussion between the service chief that you're looking up there. I take you back to Kano State. Bandits, Kano boarding schools remain closed, rather set up a reopening committee. According to the information report, that 12 out of the 50 boarding schools in Kano are completely shut down to ensure the students' safety. So Tinubu would have a lot of work to put out there to reassure Nigerians that he is up to the task, just as his predecessor, the former president Muhammadu Buhari, a former general, was a failed general that could not put an end to all the insurgency and the insecurity happening across Nigeria.
Well, listeners, it is Star Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Bringing the time now to 16 minutes past the top of the hour. And we are bringing you updates from Nigeria with Ms. Olayomi Koiki in our North London studios. I'm actually here in the South studios. Okay, now let's move on to one very, very important story that you put across. And that pertains to the tribunal, the election tribunal. Now, yesterday we did talk about the fact that some days before, that is last week, the EU came out with their report saying that, you know what, we think that there were some issues with the election, the presidential elections, and named a few people who they think that had, some way, somehow, influenced the whole thing that was going on, either by churning out false information or fake news, as we put it now. And now that the tribunal has accepted the EU's report as part of evidence, Yomi, where do you think this whole thing is going?
Yesterday we were, looking up to this, situation when we were discussing, what the EU are saying, and the response by, the presidency was very, very tough in terms of their response, in terms of what the EU has given as their own final report. But today, it seems that the tribunal will be admitting the European Union report as an exhibit on the presidential poll. The question we should be asking is that going to make any changes on terms of the election petition tribunal? But the presidential election petition in Abuja yesterday have now admitted in evidence the final report of the European Union Observer mission on the February 25th presidential election. The EU report was actually tendered by the tribunal by the People's Democratic Party that came second is candidate Atiku Abubakar, who are challenging the outcome of the poll, in which President Bola Tinubu was declared winner. It's in his final report presented last week, the EU had declared that the election was below expectation. Few names was also mentioned in terms of those that made that election a little bit, with fake news peddlers. And we're talking about, Keyamo, a senior advocate of Nigeria, and Femi Fani-Kayode. Femi Fani-Kayode is a very good critic of the West. He studied here at Cambridge, so he knows, the West very well. And he has always said throughout that the West are mostly behind, the imbalance, this instability to create havoc, and also the lot of criminality that is happening in Nigeria. And, he's the one putting on the cap there. That's Femi Fani-Kayode. His father was a one-time politician. Festus Keyamo, in the other end, was one of the, big time minister under the former President Muhammadu Buhari, also in support of the current government as well. But it seems that the European Union have listed these two individuals. I'm going to see what Femi Kayode will be responding, because I know he's going to respond very harsh back to the European Union. But the former junior Labour Minister Festus Keyamo and the ex-aviation minister that Rotimi Amechi told us that Femi Kayode took 1 billion naira, but the airport was not repaired, and yet he has so much cases with the EFCC, and as they are big men, as against the Yahoo criminals that are brought into the screen and given sentences, his own case continue, and he's still operating in Nigeria as just a normal individual.
Well, we hope that justice prevail, but we know that when it comes to this part of the world, justice, well, maybe one day. But interestingly, the INEC director, technical director, has come to give evidence that, the presidential results server crashed. That means that there was a tendency that people were able to now impute some fake results and stuff like that, which means that the whole system was compromised. Yomi?
Well, Nigeria has a lot of fake results, because before touching on that, we've been following these young girl that that Jam has actually said that she actually faked her result. We're talking about Jam result. The UTME's top scorer that declared daughter innocent. I'm going to come back to that story because that has been trending, in the last 48 hours. But yes, it seems that as we are monitoring the situation with the election tribunal and what is going to be the end of it, INEC technical director has told the tribunal presidential results server crashed on the election day. It could be for so many reasons. We do know that website crash, server crash, especially when everybody is trying to get into that particular server to get the result, because the result was meant to be coming live, as we know. The electoral chief admission came when he appeared before the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal in Abuja yesterday. What was he saying? Lawrence Bayode, INEC Deputy Director in charge of technology, had said under the oath that the cloud server managing the transmission of the presidential election result crashed on the election day.
Wow, interesting. The question is, will that change the results? Will that change the results of the election? And we're still waiting patiently to see.
Well, he actually said that, going further to what Mr. Bayo, they said, however, other that the failure was not directly linked to manipulation of the result. He didn't elaborate on how he was confident that the glitch did not affect the result of the election, contrary to enduring outcry of the opposition. Mr. Bayo's admission came when he appeared yesterday at the presidential election, and that continued today, as we know that Peter Obi will be coming back again to the court today, as the election petition is still ongoing. Whether all these evidence with the EU transmission of the result failure, crash, server, evidence of manipulation, it seems that the senior advocate of Nigeria, representing 3 gladiators, would have to square it out. But the outcome of the final will be by those judges that will make decision.
Wow, listeners, it is Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London, with the time at 11:23. And to every one of you watching us and listening to us in Nigeria or on the African continent, I want to salute each and every one of you and thank you very much. Yomi has got that picture back. I don't know whether now you've got information or the statement that the president made, but let me put this statement that Bishop Adesina has put across. He says that another wonderful day, goodness and mercy shall always follow us, many blessings. And he says, yes, Koiki, efficiency of full moon is that moon is completely 360 degree circle in view and closer to Earth compared to the new moon, which is increasing in view. One of the implications is that full moon appears to show that show date as mid-month in the primitive calendar. Okay, thank you very much, my bishop. He likes to educate us and he's educating us this morning. All right, then. Now let's talk about bread. Now, Okay, let me go back to you. Maybe you've got information, the discussions that the president...
Let's quickly touch on
touch on that one. Yeah.
As the service chief met for the first time, you could see the smile in Bola Tinubu, and that shows that, power is something that, when you have it, we hope is going to manage it in the interest of Nigerians, in the interest of safeguarding Nigeria against, the insurgency, the interest of Nigeria against the economic background, and so many other areas. But as it was getting those salutes from all the service chiefs, do not fail Nigeria is the question by the President Bola Tinubu, charges the service chiefs. President Bola Tinubu yesterday charged the newly appointed security chiefs not to fail the country. The president gave the charge during his first meeting with the service chiefs after they were appointed while he was just on his way out. Nuru Ribadu, the national security advisor who spoke to the State House journalists after the meeting, said the president mandated the service chiefs to ensure the security of the citizens, adding that we have resolved to secure this country. How they are going to secure their country is what as many Nigerians are now looking up to.
Well, as we said, there's a new sheriff in town. Maybe he'll crack the whip and maybe we'll get an outcome from that. But if somebody is there and they cannot even get their hands, they don't have enough money now to even buy the bread, the common bread, okay? So that at least you have, back in the day, my great-grandmother, I didn't see my grandmother, I saw my great-grandmother. And when I go to visit her in our hometown, the village, and then my dad will let me buy bread to go and give to her on my way. So if I didn't go with my dad and went with any of my uncles, and then he will have it, she will have it, and then have some water, and then put some sugar in it. That's how they like it. And then just break that and then dunk the bread, and then she'll be eating because it's not got teeth. She'll be just munching on it. And so you see that it's one of the things that at least people can just have and make this and up. But if now bread sellers are saying, or bread makers or bakers are saying that, you know what, the prices at which you are buying the bread is going to change, because I think the prices of the commodities that we are using, or the materials that we are using, or the ingredients have gone up. Yomi, bread, tell me about it.
I think last week I actually posted on my timeline, to all our listeners and followers, where during after school hours, picking up the children, there were food stuff display. These happen, I believe, in all schools around the area, just to support the parents. And you could walk onto the desk. There is loads of bread. There is fruit. There is potato. There is tomato. There is cabbage. There is crepes. There is yogurt. There is soup. That literally means that by the time you pack all those and bring it home, it will last at least 3 days and make you survive. So that is the the situation here in UK. But in Nigeria, it seems that the imminent hike in the price, Nigerian bread producers have been complaining for some time. This is not the first time we have said it. Remember that the reason why the complaint is going on, it's also due to the fact that the African president that traveled to Ukraine and Russia told the two sides to please, for heaven's sake and for humanity's sake, allow the passage of the Black Sea. And the reason for that is because that is the only route that brings in the wheat from the Ukraine, as we know that the amount of wheat produced by Ukraine is in large quantity. When we look at the import of wheat to Nigeria, again, because Nigeria is a country that have refused to grow when it comes to food, and that literally means that I'm looking at 2021 on the OEC world that gives every country details or data when it comes to the import and export. So in terms of our import to Nigeria, we actually spend $61.6 billion. And guess what? 3.32 billion of that, at about 5.38%, are wheat importation. Now, let me give you the breakdown of where the wheat are coming from. We have as many, you'll be wondering, a lot of Nigerians do not know where their wheat is coming from, but they are complaining about the bread in the first place. At least if we know where these raw materials are coming from, then you will then understand why it is becoming expensive, looking at the dollar exchange rate this morning as well. Lithuania, we are actually buying almost $582 million of wheat at about 17.5% from Lithuania. Latvia, we are buying about 508 million value of wheat at about 15%. Russia is also giving us about 493 million. 15% is coming from the US. Canada is giving us about 297 million. Germany is giving us about 150 million. Ukraine is giving Nigeria 490 million is what we are paying the Ukraine to get the wheat from them. Estonia, the question then is, when you go back and look at some of these countries, apart from Russia, Germany, and United States of America, we look at Lithuania this morning, and let's ask ourselves the question, Lithuania, when it comes to Lithuania, what is the population, and why is Lithuania making the best out of the wheat growing? The total population of Lithuania this morning, according to the World Bank, is 2.8 million as at 2021, when Nigeria was importing wheat from them. And when you look at their GDP, is about 66.4 billion US dollars. Nigerians will continue to cry because the government of previous and the military era have destroyed the agriculture industry. We shouldn't be importing wheat from Lithuania, a country that is having a population of 2.8 million. That is less than Kwara State. And I've been looking at Koiki State, which is the topic of this week. Koiki State has 21 local government. When we look at the population in Koiki State as of today, that is approximately, roughly, I'm going to get that data in just about a few minutes, but we have about 3.3 million people living in Koiki State. That is 1 million less than the population of Lithuania, where we are buying the wheat from. Koiki State should have been providing the wheat, and we won't have to import it rather, into the country.
Well, listeners, it's quite an interesting one there. But if insecurity is prevailing in Nigeria, then of course people will not be able to go to their farms to go and till their land. But does Nigeria produce wheat at all, or all its wheat comes from outside?
Well, even if they are, it will be very, very less in terms of proportion. We do know that so many things are produced in Nigeria, when it comes to growing them. But when we talk about the wheat, you can tell that we have spent 3.32 billion US dollars. That is a staggering amount of money. And when we look at the breakdown, of the countries that we import from, France, Croatia, other European countries, and likewise Australia. When you look at the distance of Australia to Nigeria, you will ask yourself, how did we get to where we have to import wheat all the way from Australia to the tune of 32.5 million? So it seems that there are some Nigerians that are taking advantage of that.
Well. So as we say, some people are fomenting trouble so that, others, they can go and instead of buying the thing from them, they wouldn't buy it. They can go outside to go and buy it. Bishop Edisona says, God have mercy on Nigerians. A family bread is sold for 1,200 naira, and then now this is going to be price increase again. There's going to be price increase again. People can't even afford the present price, but only few rich people who are able to afford it. I mean, that I'm saying that it's just a basic meal. Having bread, it shouldn't be. Our home, we buy bread and we take, at times I just leave it there for a long time. I have to take it and put it in the freezer because nobody will be eating it, and then we have to chuck it maybe at a point. But if you look at all those things and where basic food, we are not being able to get it, and we get to this length and the price is going to go up as well, then you ask yourself the question, how has our government failed us? How have they led us? But somebody has posted a question, and let me ask you, pertaining to the same picture that you put behind you. The person is asking the military chief that is being forcing the generals to retire. What has been the reaction? Because they gave them some time. Have they responded to it at all?
Well, they gave them up to today. Yesterday, to retire. But looking at Omoyele Sowore, speaking around that as well, it seems that just to make sure that they are not bringing any more problem into Bola Tinubu's government, they've been given big packages, from bulletproof very SUV to millions of naira as a retirement package, and that will just make them buy a property somewhere in Europe and they'll probably be looking up to Tinubu until it's finished. It's just not to bring another coup. I don't know how true that is, but definitely, as of yesterday, some of the former military generals have no other option than to now leave it for the new ones that the new president have brought in place.
Well, if they're getting good payment, why wouldn't it? They would take it. Okay, now, there's a sad story that happened in Abuja where another building collapsed. I don't know whether we captured that, but a tragedy struck yesterday in the nation's capital, Abuja, as about 20 persons were reportedly trapped in the rubble of a 4-story hotel building which collapsed in Dape live camp. And according to eyewitnesses, the building, which has an underground facility, was owned by one of the top people in the hotel business in the territory. It was said to be under construction as of the time of the collapse. Now, we had incidents like that in Lagos State, and we talked about the fact that the building inspectorate, the inspectorate division of building of the various states, as whether they are rising up to do their jobs, we'll wait, and then something like that will happen, and we'll run, we'll make noise, then we'll go and sleep. Then the next time something happens again, it will come and make noise. Yomi, what happened there?
When the news was breaking yesterday, I was just asking myself, in the new era that we are living, when even with a scan you can easily detect whether a building has been compromised from the scratch by putting in different technology, testing of the soil, testing of the materials. But Nigerians are always looking to cut corners, and that has been one of our biggest obstacle when we look at projects that should have been completed. I was reviewing Ajaokuta yesterday, and the reason why I can bring in Ajaokuta to link up to this conversation is because Ajaokuta is a steel mill that should have produced what is now being used in Abuja. The question is, where is the materials being brought from? When it comes to the material to use to build the building, because you need the steel, you need the soil, you need the the water, and you need the expertise as well. It shows that the negligence of getting it right. If this is happening in Abuja, it's happening in Lagos, then I can imagine how many buildings are collapsing in other states that doesn't even come onto the air. The reason why this is coming on air is because of Abuja. But like you said, when it happened, committee has set up, money have been spent into it, just as Ajaokuta has got billions of dollars, and 45 years down the line, Ajaokuta is not working. I wonder how Buhari sleeps, in the night, because in 2022, a 4 billion naira was phantomed into the 2022 budget. And when I was playing out, those that understand Ajaokuta, it was just to pay salary to keep people going in that particular sector. And the question is, where is going to be the next building collapse? And how quickly can we save Nigerians when the top people are trying to cut corners? You can imagine, as many low earners will cut corners. Let's just get the building up and running, but whether it's going to last is a different thing entirely.
Or whatever time this building just collapses and kills us because somebody is not doing their job. And I don't know whether the housing.
You remember that Nigeria is not an earthquake zone area like Turkey, so that literally means that the building is not having any kind of earthquake. It's just that it has been compromised to cut corners by those Nigerians that want to save money but kill as many lives. And like you said, we hope there's still the rescue going on. But yesterday, more people have died.
We always want to, circumvent the law, but that is why we have authorities there to see to it that we all we are tailoring, or we are working according to the rules. Some will just, but we have to make sure that people are protected. All right, then, listeners, Starr Radio UK, 11:38 the time, the morning show, the program Updates from Nigeria with Ms. Olayomi Koiki. We'll go back to Yomi for the rest of the stories and what is happening on the social media platform. Over to you, Yomi.
Well, we've been talking about the UTME fraud. We will reveal all we know. People will be shocked. The JAM registry, Professor Ishak Oloyede, continue to believe that the result that was put out by this young Nigerian is fraud. She said that she took out the result printed out from the JAM server, but it seems that the registry of the Joint Admission and Matriculation Board. You need to do this to get into any university or polytechnic. So it's like an exam that needs to be done after your West African examination exam, and that means that based on your cutoff mark, you will get to whatever university of your choice. But since the last 48 hours, Professor Isaac Oloyede said that Nigerians will be shocked if the body decides to reveal the details of the forgery perpetrated by Nelson Ejikeme, the candidate from Anambra State, whom the board accused of manually inflating a UTME score. I mean, it's just still not clear. The young girl have spoken yesterday as well, saying that she has not done anything. She has been winning as a student, beating her other colleagues in primary school up to secondary school. But it seems that the JAM is saying that that the result paraded by Ejikeme was the template for a student who sat for the UTME 2 years ago. The question then is, how did she put her own details and got this printed out, or was it an inside job? Because as I say, there's always an insider that can change the result. We've seen it here in UK. It's not just in Nigeria. Remember, at some point, some individuals were later find out that the driver license with them has been compromised right inside the DVLA. If this can happen in UK, you can as well say Nigeria. It can happen day by day. I still insist that I have it on evidence that last year a Nigerian flew back to Nigeria, changed his own details, and then flew out again with a new details. That is the kind of corruption that goes on in Nigeria, and everybody knows this. It's just that we try not to speak out. And when we are saying that Nigerians is not respected outside, it's because your result cannot be confirmed. I remember when I came here about 25 years ago, I had to then ask, presented my school cert to one of the university here in London, and I was told that they can't confirm because our WAEC in Nigeria does not even have any office here in London, and they will not be able to accept that. And this has been one of the biggest obstacles to so many Nigerians that are planning to study in UK, because why? As an English-speaking country, you are then asked to go and retake an English exam just to get into the university or even do a master courses here in United Kingdom. So we're going to leave it on that because of the time constraint. But let's go straight to what is trending right now on the social media, as this young girl has now also become what we can call an ethnic, because some are saying, is she because she's from the southeast of Nigeria? This is happening. Whether that is so or not, we just have to wait and see. I'm getting the news from the Nigerian television network. President of the Senate, Godwill Akpabio, has now announced names of the majority leadership of the 10th Senate. Okpeyemi Bamidele will be the Senate majority leader. David Umahi will be deputy majority leader. Mohammed Ali Indome will be Senate majority whip. Lola Ashiru will be deputy majority whip. So this is coming as we speak right now. I was thinking maybe Fenika has responded to the EU, and yes, he has. As I will say, he has just responded 23 minutes ago. Let's take a little bit of what he's saying. It might be a little bit about a minute or so, but let's read it out. Before, and let's get his image out again so we know the individual is the one on the right hand side on your screen there with the Fulani hat there. Before they assail and afflict us with their self-serving, self-seeking, hypocritical, nocentic, infantile, irritating, inconsequential election monitor report, the European Union and its member states should tender unreserved apology for the unspeakable atrocities that they committed against the people of Africa over the last 200 years. In case they have forgotten, permit me to remind them of just a few. The Germans committed genocide in Namibia, the Belgians committed genocide in Congo, the French committed genocide in Algeria, the Dutch committed genocide in South Africa, the Spanish committed genocide in Equatorial Guinea and Morocco, the Portuguese committed genocide in Angola and Mozambique, the British, though no longer a member of the European Union, committed genocide in Kenya and South Africa. Hundreds of millions of Africa were subjected to ethnic cleansing, mass murder, slavery, total subjugation by the Europeans in the 19th and the 20th century. When a European accuses we Africans of being brutal and barbaric, of committing all manner of mindless atrocity against one another, and of being a bunch of fraudulent and dishonest election riggers, they forgot to mention the fact that if true we must have learned such callousness, wickedness, barbaric and rogueless trait from them, history proves that their report deserves to be in one place and one place alone, the bottom of the dustbin. I'll come back again now to you in the studio, Mr. Archie.
Well, I didn't expect anything different from that, you know. I knew that he was come to somebody say, come and use big grammar to this.
I told you when it comes back out, it's going to fire very hard, and it seems that it took his time to do so. By the time he responded just 23 minutes ago on his official Twitter handle, that is just the new ad, and it has actually generated about 12,000 reactions so far in 25 minutes. Whether some will appreciate that, even though some disagree with him when it comes to APC. But let's take some of the few comments. Somebody just put his 2 hands by his ears. I don't know what the meaning of that.
It's not listening.
This one say the pepper soup was too sweet for a quick reaction. Breaking, Fenikade admit that APC rigged election, but only learned it from the European nation who did it in the past. This one say, Baba, I just the pity you small. It is better to drink Gary in peace than to eat fried rice and chicken in tears. This one say, congratulations, you made it on the list.
Listen, let's start reading UK. Before we run up the updates, Bishop Adesina pertaining to the collapsed building says the building collapse problem is not Nigerians' fault. It's the fault of the Nigerian agencies, consisting of lack of competent personnel. So he's saying that those who are in the inspectorate, those who are supposed to be approving all that, that is the place where it's compromised. So I mean, as for the builders, they will want to make their money. They want to, as anything that is standing, and so that is okay. But well, it's a sad one there. We hope that with the new sheriff in town, maybe he cracks the whip to get everybody towing the line. Listen to Starr Radio UK. Yomi, before we go.
Well, I'll leave you to Archie to take us through the rest of the program. As we say, if it's not the Starr Radio UK, it's nobody else. Let's stay tuned to the more news and headline on the traffic as we continue to say, may Nigeria not happen to any one of us. And as I leave you in the good hands of Archie, remember to follow us on our Twitter handle on the Starr Radio UK network. Also to all our listeners on the sister broadcast, we say a very good morning and welcome to again. As I say, I'll be back again tomorrow. Bye for now, Archie.
Bye. Well, listen, that has been Mr. Olayomi Koiki bringing you updates from Nigeria. We do that every weekday from 10 o'clock when the program starts, with all the stories that we'll be bringing you from across the globe via BBC and the Sky News, and then we move on in-house to bring you everything that you need to know. And at 11 o'clock we have Mr. Olayomi Koiki bringing you all that you need to know from Nigeria as well. Now, if you're listening to us, maybe where you are, the country that you belong to, you want to share with us what is happening, be like Olayomi Koiki that's bringing us everything that we need to know, feel free to do so. Now, Ademola Owudoni says, not only the building, Nigeria is collapsing. He thinks that he said it's not only the building, but Nigeria itself is collapsing. Let's see what is going to happen there. But let's enjoy this song from Jeanette, and it says Arabani. And then when I'll be bringing you all the rest of the other stories making the rounds in other parts of the world. But enjoy this song now. Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London.
láyé lọ. Igi ńlá iyọ̀ wà lóhun tó máa fi ṣàràbà lóore. Oníwíwó ní káràbà ìlọ́wọ́ láwùjọ igi. Onílé wò ó kò máa gbúdọ̀ wò. Àràbà ní egbodò wọ láwùjọ. Ṣọ́dá àbáwọn sọ Fúlàní wọ̀nyí bó ṣe ń pa wá. Ṣó wá sùn ọkọ̀ máde ẹmọ́ ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ kó jáwọ́ ní. Àwọn àgbààgbà ikọ̀ wọn kò tíra mú odò sí wa kó wà láyé rẹ̀ lọ. Ó máa ṣe òye kò máa gbúdọ̀ wò. Àràbà ní egbodò wọ láwùjọ.
This is Starr Radio UK.
Èrò bá mi kọ́ máa dé mọ́. Èmi kí ọmọ yìí.
This is Starr Radio UK.
Èrò bá mi kọ́ mọ́ wọn ní ìgbọ́ ọmọ rẹ̀. Iná máa rógún màmá ti di pẹ̀lẹ́ ọmọ bàbá rógún màmá ṣojo. Sunday ẹyẹ tó má ṣe bọ́ kí yẹn ò sí ní gbọ́mọ́. Òrìṣà tí ó ṣe bọ́kọ̀ màdé mú ni ṣebí yẹn ò kọ́ mọ́ lágbẹ̀dẹ. Ẹ bá lè jẹ́ ẹ̀bọ̀n náà jẹ́. Adéyẹmí yóò máa sọ.
Okay, that's a tune from Jeanette, and it says Arabani. I hope you enjoyed it wherever you might be on Starr Radio UK or listening to us or viewing us from. I salute each and every one of you. Once again, thank you very much for joining in. We're going to be taking a quick break, and once we come back, we'll continue with all the other stories making the rounds across the globe. But my Bishop Adeshina has posted another comment there. It said the JAM chairman should be ashamed of himself. Even if the result is faulty, he should know better and do his checking under his cabinet. Now he goes on to say the innocent girl present what she received, or she presented what she received from the JAM server that she has no power to edit. But well, let's see what they are doing and what they are saying there. It's quite an interesting one. It's all coming away from Starr Radio UK. Shamsuddin says, good, God bless Yoruba Nation. And God bless you, sir. And we want Yoruba Nation. All right, then. Thank you very much for all your comments there. Let's take a quick commercial break and then we continue with the show. Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London.
Looking for a new way to stay refreshed and hydrated? Look no further than iRange Hydration Drink. iRange is perfect for any situation where you need a little pick-me-up. It's low in calories and has a delicious orange flavor that you will love. So don't wait any longer. Grab a can of iRange today and start enjoying the refreshing. Buy online at irange.co.uk.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Welcome back to the program Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. And as I did say earlier on, this afternoon exactly at 1:30 we'll be having BB Clement coming away with BB Means Business. But for now, we have to go on to look at some of the stories making the rounds from across the globe. So stay tuned, don't touch the dial. Starr Radio UK. I remain yours sincerely, your one and only Archie. And as I said,
Archie on Starr Radio. Nobody does it better.
Okay, Now let's move on to other parts of the world, since we have got about 30 minutes plus 35 minutes to bring the program to a close, to prepare the grounds for BB means business. Alright. Now, when it comes to some other stories making the rounds across the globe, Saudi Arabia, Egyptian executed for terrorism. This brings to 68 the number of executions since the beginning of the year in the kingdom, one of the countries which apply most death penalty. South Africa, Zulu King denies being poisoned. Let me bring you that. Yesterday we touched on that briefly. The King of Zulu, South Africa's most powerful customary ruler, says he was in good shape after the sudden death of one of his close advisors sparked fears of poisoning. Very well, I'm fit and strong, said Misuzulu Zulu by telephone on Monday from the small neighboring state of Eswatini, where he is undergoing medical examination. Misuzulu Zulu 48, also known as Misuzulu Kazwathini, ceded the throne last year on the death of his father Godwill Zwathini following a bitter family succession battle. Now, King Zwathini, who died after reigning for more than 50 years, left behind 6 wives and at least 28 children. In a statement released on Saturday night, the influential traditional Zulu Prime Minister Mangosuthu Buthelezi said he had been informed that Mrs. Zulu had been hospitalized after falling ill earlier on Saturday. Questions by some of the news media, the king said on Monday that he had never been hospitalized in recent days. It was a routine checkup that I have every 3 months, sometimes every 6 months, he said. The king's spokesman, Prince Africa Zulu, had said on Sunday that the sovereign had undergone thorough medical examination in Eswatini after the sudden death of one of his close advisors, which led to the fears of poisoning, and that he was in a perfect health. We thank God for that, and we hope that his reign will bring peace and progress and for the community there. It's all coming away from Starr Radio UK, and it's your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Now, Sudan's Army Chief Abdel Fattah al-Burhan said on Monday the army is ready to receive and equip voluntary fighters. In a Facebook post, the army directed civilian fighters to go to the nearest command or military unit. The possible recruitment of civilians, which could worsen already deadly violence, has been the subject of debate for weeks. In a speech on June 27, al-Burhan said that all young and capable men should enlist. It remains unclear whether his latest call to arms was a forced conscription. Now, Monday announcement comes amid renewed artillery fire in Khartoum over the weekend as the conflict between the army and the paramilitary rapid support forces led by Mohammed Hamdan Dagalo or Hamedeth reached its 12th week. Now, since it began in April 15, the war has resulted in nearly 3,000 deaths and 2.8 million refugees and displaced people. In Darfur, in Sudan's west, the violence has taken an ethnic dimension, according to the United Nations. Armed civilians have already participated in the fighting in Darfur, with the region's governor, Mini Minawi, an ex-rebel leader now close to the army, calling on civilians to take up arms in May. Now, what I think is going to happen there is quite a worrying trend. And it's all Starr Radio UK. One other story, this one just came in pertaining to Nigeria once again. And this I say 3 Chinese naval vessels made a 5-day stopover in the waters of Lagos, Nigeria economic capital, on Sunday during a rare visit to the Gulf of Guinea. The Nigerian and Chinese authorities said on Monday this is a friendly visit aimed at improving diplomacy between China and Nigeria. Nigerian Navy spokesman Rear Admiral Ayo Vong said one of the ships docked on Sunday at Apapa port in Lagos, where a ceremony was held. The Chinese ambassador to Nigeria, Qiu Jiangchun, said that this visit was a major event in recent years. This event testifies to a high level of trust between the two countries, which will strengthen the ties between the two navies, particularly in terms of jointly resolving the regional security problems, he added, quoted in a statement published on the embassy's website. Okay, kudos to them, kudos to them, kudos to them. Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Now, to President Macky Sall of Senegal. Now, Senegal's President Macky Sall is set to end the suspense on a potential third bid. That was yesterday, but I think I had a current statement that he had made. Let me see whether I can get that your way. Yes, I've got that one. Yes, Senegal's President Macky Sall on Monday ended months of tense uncertainty by saying he will not seek a third term next year, clearing the way for open election in the West African nation long considered a bastion of democracy in a troubled region. Now, Sall had until now remained coy about his ambitions, stoking tensions over whether he will use a constitutional revision to argue he could extend the country's traditional two-term maximum. My dear fellow citizens, quote and unquote, my decision after long consideration is to be a candidate in the election on the February 25th, 2024, Sall said in a televised address. Senegal is more than me and is full of capable leaders for the country's development, he said. Sall said he had sought to prioritize his country's progress, in particular at a time of socio-economic difficulties and uncertainties. On the eve of the Sall's nation's address, his fiercest critic, Ousmane Sonko, had urged the public to come out en masse and oppose him. Deadly clashes erupted last month between Sonko's supporters and security forces, claiming at least 16 lives. The turbulence tarnished Senegal's image as a beacon of stability in West Africa, a region notorious for coup and civil war. Now, Sall 61 was first elected in 2012 for a 7-year term, and again in 2019 for a 5-year term, following a constitutional revision of their presidential tenure. The constitution stipulates that a president cannot serve more than 2 terms, but Sall's supporters had argued that the counter had been reset to 0 thanks to the 2016 revision. Sall had previously campaigned against the third term by his predecessor Abdoulaye Wade, who was in power from 2000 to 2012, and had said he will not seek re-election, backing the continent's trend of entrenched strongmen leaders. But he had not designated a political successor, and in recent months has been coy about another term, a position that he has stoked tensions. But now we know that he is not going to be piling for that election. So let's see what happens. Is he not going to appoint somebody from his party to take his stead? And as he's saying, I'm not the only person who is wise in the country. There are other able-leaded men who will be able to run the affairs of the country. That's quite an interesting one. 3 minutes past 12. Alright, you want to join the conversation? 0208133257 or 580208133257 or 58. US of Canada, it is 0017183032737 0017183032737. Text or WhatsApp 0753966174 0753966174. Our Twitter handle is Starr Radio UK and email address is info@starradiouk.com. Alright then, now let's move on to some other stories making the rounds in other parts of the world, but that will be after this short commercial break. Stay tuned and don't you go away.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR S for Starr, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Vedasse.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Check me out. He tells me my energy is making him tired.
Yes!
How do you get the energy to do
I've been told that I have a lot of energy, but my goodness, I think today I have met my match people. I have met my matchless Suzanne. Wow, amazing.
One of the things that's the start of the darkness. Of darkness.
So what did that
myself and the world will adjust. And 2019.
Forget the proverbial boardroom. Join me, Simone Frazier, on the CEO, the program that gives you the driving seat over your life. Every Tuesday, 8 p.m. only on Starr Radio.
Orange is the brand new hydration drink developed with bold, thirst-quenching orange flavor to refresh and replenish. Orange was created to fill the void where great taste meets functionality. With bold, thirst-quenching orange flavor to help you refresh, replenish, and refuel.
Welcome back to the program. It is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Bringing your time now to 7 minutes past the of the hour, and it is the Tuesday edition of the morning show. We're finishing exactly at 12:30 because we're going to prepare the ground for BB Clement on BB Means Business. Now let's move on to other parts of the African continent as well. But as I did say, if you are listening to us and you think that, ooh, I would love to also bring you updates from some part of the world that I find myself. It doesn't matter which country, wherever you are. It doesn't matter if that is your native country, no, wherever you are. If you want to do that, just get in touch with Starr Radio UK and we will expedite that for you. Now, in Ghana, information coming through shows that, well, there has been a banter pertaining to as whether the government should still consider prosecuting the MP-elect Jachikwasin, or as the Domahene did say over the weekend that there should be not a prosecutor. So virtually the case abandoned and let sleeping dogs lie and let him, because the citizens of that particular area say, this is our man, we love him. For the second time they've confirmed that. Well, we have Ayikwe Otu, who was a former Attorney General and Minister of Justice. Ni Ayikwe Otu says it will be good for the New Patriotic Party in future elections, as I think North, if the current Attorney General discontinues the criminal case against James Jachikwasin, the Member of Parliament elect for the area. Now, Ni Ayikwe Otu, also a former Ghana High Commissioner to Canada, in a radio interview said yesterday that stressed that it was politically prudent to enter a nolle prosequi in the case because the MPP needs to look at the wider public sentiment and how the people of Asen North will react to its continuation. Now, he was, however, quick to add that the Attorney General on his own volition does not have the capacity to take the decision except if Cabinet so agrees. In the matter of negotiations, if we, that is the MPP, want to win election in Asen North next time, and we go on with this trend, and then we convict him in the likely event that we convict him and then he gets out again, we are going to go into another by-election, this time not with him but what will the people of Asin North think of the NPP? Will they be ever comfortable voting us into power? Will they decide never to forgive us anymore? This is what we should be looking at. Okay, he went on further to say, because quite a lengthy one. He said the charges relate. Okay, he said James Quayson plead. Okay, let me put it this way: the former Attorney General was speaking in reaction to recent comments by the Domahene that the state should discontinue the criminal trial of the Judge Quayson in the High Court, which comment has attracted widespread condemnation by persons associated with the government, including the Attorney General Godfrey Yeboah-Dame. Now, James Quayson had pleaded not guilty to the 5 charges of deceit or public office, forgery of passport or travel certificates, knowingly making a false statutory declaration, perjury, and false declaration for office. The charges relate to his participation in the 2020 polls at the time he allegedly had dual citizenship. Now, the Accra High Court ordered a daily trial, which ruling has been challenged by his lawyers in the Court of Appeal. So, what is going to happen there? Are they going to hearken to what Ni Ayukwe to the former Attorney General and Minister for Justice has said, or are they still going to just get on? Now, another big hook when it comes to the MPP, that is Sam Okudzato. Now, a member of the General Legal Council, Sam Okudzato, has described as senseless and wrong the Domahene's appeal to the Attorney General to drop the criminal charges against Asin North MP-elect James Gyakye Quayson. Now, he is of the view, saying that he would have recommended the High Court judge sacking or resignation if he was a member of disciplinary committee of the Judicial Council. The traditional leader, who is also the president of the Bono Regional House of Chiefs, Osajefo Osiadeyo Ajimambedu II, while speaking at the 10th anniversary lecture of John Evans Atta Mills in the Sunyani, appealed to the president to take steps to halt the trial against the MP-elect. As a matter of urgency, I am appealing to the President of the Republic, Attorney General, if he has any role to play, the trial should be aborted, he appealed. The revered traditional ruler called on the Attorney General, Godfrey Yeboah-Dame, to, as a matter of urgency, file a nolle prosequa to end that particular decision. Now, speaking on another news network, Mr. Okudzato said it was wrong for the Domahene to make such utterance because of his profile in the judiciary. If I was sitting in that disciplinary committee of the Judicial Council, I would have asked him to resign or asked him to be sacked as a judge. That's what I would have done. If he hears this statement, I am the one saying it. I, Sam Okudzato, I stand by it, he said. The former president of the Ghana Bar Association asked that individuals take the matter up by filing a petition to the Judicial Council for the necessary action to be taken on the judge. Now, it is also useful when somebody comes, you have to make a complaint. This thing is recorded, and so you send a recording to the Judicial Council and you tell them that this is what the person has said, and we think that there is something wrong with it, he said. He clarified that Judiciary Council could only act on a petition, adding that this was a way society puts lawyers and judges in check. So he thinks that somebody should petition the Judicial Council so that they will sack him, or either he resigns, is supposed to resign. But do you agree with all that there? Or do you think that the government should still go on to prosecute? Well, but now let's go to the Attorney General himself. The Attorney General and Minister of Justice, Godfrey Yeboah-Dame, has described recent commentaries regarding high-profile criminal cases pending in court as one that transgresses permissible limits of free speech and unduly interferes with the work of the state prosecutors. Now, with specific reference, the case of Republic versus James Gyakye Quayson, Republic versus Dr. Stephen Opuni, and 2 others, and Republic versus Castle Atoforsen and 2 others, the AG said the public is cautioned against unwarranted utterance that prejudice prejudice the matters. High-profile personalities, including the Domahene and president of the Bono Regional House of Chiefs, Osajefo Osadeyo Ajimambedu II, has appealed to the president Akufo-Addo to intervene in the prosecution of the member of parliament for Asen North, James Jachukwesin, following his victory in the by-election. Mr. Kwesin is facing criminal charges brought against him after he lost his seat as a member of parliament for Asen North. There are other cases there as well. But my question here is, as Ni Ayikwe Otu, the former Attorney General, has warned or advised, don't you think that is better than looking at the picture holistically? It will be good for them to do so? Or is it going to be going on to do whatever he thinks that is going to be expedient for his party, the NPP, the ruling government? Well. This was Starr Radio UK. We've got another 15 minutes and we will bring the program to a close to prepare the grounds for BB Clement on BB Means Business. Okay, now let's move on to other stories making the rounds in other parts of the world. And breaking news coming through: at least 5 people injured in suspect car ramming attack in Tel Aviv, Israel media has said. We are following a live report from there, and I promise that once I have more of it, I'll be bringing your way. But at least 4 people are injured, one seriously, in a car ramming attack in Tel Aviv in Israel. Local media report the suspected attacker was shot and killed. The Palestinian militants group Hamas says the heroic Tel Aviv attack was a natural response to Israel's operation in the occupied West Bank. Thousands of Palestinians have left the Jenin refugee camp in the West Bank since the operation began on Tuesday. An Israeli advisor said the operation was close to completing the goal set. The Israeli Defense Forces say they have arrested 120 suspects and have 10 more targets in the center of the Jenin refugee camp. Now, Palestinian officials say 10 Palestinians have been killed and 100 others wounded. It is All Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Well, interestingly, when sanctions are introduced on a country, we see the country suffering. But Putin is saying sanctions making Russia stronger. Now, Russia will continue to oppose Western sanctions, President Vladimir Putin has said following Moscow's invasion of Ukraine. His address to a virtual Shanghai Cooperation Organization summit was his first to an international meeting since last month's mutiny in Russia. Now, Mr. Putin backed trade accords between SCO nations in local currencies, seen as an attempt to blunt sanctions. The 2023 SCO summit is taking place virtually under India's leadership. Mr. Putin said the platform to send a message of defiance to the West, saying Russia counters all these external sanctions, pressures and provocations and continues to develop as never before. He has made several public appearances seeing Wagner mercenary group stage a short-lived mutiny in late June. But this was the first time he'd been seen with a group of international leaders. I would like to thank my colleagues from the SCO's countries who expressed support for the sanctions of the Russian leadership to protect their constitutional order and the life and security of citizens, he told the summit in a televised address from the Kremlin in Moscow. Mr. Putin added that more than 80% of the trade between Chinese and Russian people was in rubles and yuan, and urged other SCO's members to follow the same process. He also welcomed Russia ally Belarus' application to become a permanent member of the SCO at the next summit. In India, India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi called on SCO members to boost trade, connectivity and tech cooperation, among other things. But he didn't directly refer to either the war in Ukraine or China's increasingly assertive stance in the Indo-Pacific. India, historically non-aligned, had to walk a tight diplomatic rope due to its increasingly strong ties with the West. Just days earlier, the US had rolled out the red carpet for Mr. Modi when he was received in Washington on a state visit. It's all coming away from Starr Radio UK. We've got about another 11 minutes to bring the program to a close. Now, one other story from the world front, and then we continue. Now, in Russia still, Now, drone attacks. Ukraine has launched a drone attack on Moscow. The Russian Defense Ministry says forcing flights to be diverted from Vnukovo International Airport. And 5 drones were reportedly used in Tuesday's attack, which also targeted locations in the wider region around the capital. The Defense Ministry said all the drones were shut down and there were no casualties or damage. Ukraine has not claimed responsibility for the alleged attack. Restrictions at the Vnukovo Airport, one of Moscow's 3 international airports, have now been lifted. The flights from Turkey, the United Arab Emirates, and Egypt were among those affected. According to the Defense Ministry, 4 of the drones flying in the Moscow region were shot down by air defense systems. A 5th was intercepted electronically before crashing. An attempt by the Kyiv regime to attack a zone where civil infrastructure is located, including an airport that receives international flights, is a new terrorist act. Foreign Ministry spokeswoman Maria Zakharova said on Telegram. Now, Russia state media said one of the drones crashed in the town of Kobinka, which roughly is 36 kilometers from Vnukovo Airport in the southwest of the city. Another was reportedly shot down near the village of Valuvo, also near the airport. But verification is still being independent verification is still going on. This is not the first drone attack to target Moscow. In May, Russia Defense Ministry said at least 8 drones caused minor damage. It was the first time the city had been targeted by multiple drones since Russia's invasion of Ukraine in February 2022, and came after Moscow blamed Kyiv for a drone attack on the Kremlin. Well, it's all coming away from Star Radio UK. 9 minutes to the end of the program. That is 12:21 the time. Star Radio UK, the station, the morning show, the program. Stay tuned. Let's take a quick break and then we bring you the rest of the stories making the rounds here in the UK.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Star Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Welcome back to the program Star Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. I'm bringing the time now to 12:23. My apologies. So we're going to be running up pretty soon. A man has been found guilty of murdering mom and daughter in fire. That is in Nottingham. I'm going to bring you more details of that in a moment. But average 5-year fixed mortgage rate is above 6%, and I know people are complaining badly about it. And Thames Water fined 3.3 million over river sewage that has killed how many fishes? And China is accusing UK of harboring Hong Kong fugitives. Remember the other time there was a demonstration in front of the Chinese embassy, and they managed to snatch some people in. And you don't want to go demonstrate there. You can't answer your demonstration. Hey, somebody pushes you in and they snatch you in, and then They can go and deal with you there. Well. Okay. Now, bringing you this one first before I bring you the other one. A typical 5-year fixed mortgage deal has now an interest rate of more than 6%. It comes after the Bank of England raised interest rate to a 15-year high of 5% last month as it tries to bring down inflation. Mortgage lenders have been increasing rates and withdrawing deals recently, driving up costs for homeowners. Now, Prime Minister Rishi Sunak has urged homeowners to hold their nerve over rising rates. On Tuesday, the average rate for a 5-year fixed rate mortgage went up to 6.1%. Now, according to 6.01%. Okay. Now, according to Financial Information Service, Moneyfact, the average 2-year fixed deal is 6.47%. Now, the last time those rates both topped 6% was in November last year, when interest rates rose sharply in the aftermath of the then Chancellor Koiki Kwarteng's mini budget. But after a period of calm, they have climbed steadily again in recent weeks. Now, however, while mortgage rates are rising rapidly, the rates on savings accounts have not gone up as fast, with the average rate for a 2-year mortgage now 6.47%. The average easy access savings rate is 2.45%, according to Moneyfact. That is a gap of 4.02 percentage points. But the thing is, they want to increase the interest on loans and then mortgages and stuff like that as you take. But when it comes to they increasing your interest on the savings, that one they've lowered it. Yeah. All right then, it's Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. One other story, and a couple of them. Let me quickly bring you this one as well. China says the UK is sheltering fugitives after Hong Kong put bounties on the heads of 8 pro-democracy activists who fled the territory. The statement from its London embassy came after the UK said it will not tolerate attempts by China to silence individuals in the UK or overseas. The eight left the former British territory after Beijing imposed a sweeping national security law in 2020. The Hong Kong Chief Executive John Lee said they will be pursued for life. He urged them to give themselves up, adding that otherwise they will spend their days in fear. Now, British politicians have openly offered protection for fugitives. A spokesman of the Chinese embassy in London said late on Monday, condemning what it alleged was crude interference in Hong Kong's rule of law and China's internal affairs. A bounty of 1 million Hong Kong dollars, that is 100,581 pounds, was offered for the activists' arrest. The 8 named in the announcement are all based in the UK, the US, and Australia, countries which do not who don't have extradite treaties with China. All right, so what would they do? Starr Radio UK, the final story, and then we bring the program to a close here. Now, Jamie Barrow, a man has been found guilty of murdering mom and daughters in fire. Is a story. A man who killed his neighbor and her 2 daughters by setting their flat on fire has been found guilty of murder. Now, Fatimata Hiadara, 28, died along with Fatima Neema Drame, age 3 and 1, after their home in Clifton, Nottingham, was set alight in November. Jamie Barrow, 31, had admitted their manslaughter at Nottingham Court but denied 3 counts of murder. On Tuesday, a jury found him guilty of the more serious charges. The trial ahead, Barrow had poured petrol through the letterbox of the family's flat in File Close on 20th of November and set it alight. Jurors were told he was unhappy about bags of rubbish being left in an alleyway behind where he and his victims lived. The prosecutors said Barrow knew the flat front door was the only way in and out when he set the fire. He had claimed he thought the property was empty, but the court heard he did nothing when he heard the screams. Miss Haidara and the daughters died from smoke inhalation. Wow. That was he was livid with rage and ended up doing that. But Don't be leaving your garbage also in the places that you're not supposed to infuriate or make somebody angry. He had no right to do what he did. But again, at times we do those things for health and safety issues. We're not supposed to do that. Well, it's all coming away from Starr Radio UK, and this is where I end the program for today. And I'll bring you this song from Stephen Marley, and you know what I'm bringing your way: the Babylon System. The Babylon System. And at least we know that France was calm last night, and we've had a bit of peace. So I pray that everything goes on smoothly. But don't you go away. It's under 1:30. BB Clement will be coming away with BB Means Business. I'm going to prepare the ground and everything for her. So stay tuned. Don't you go away. Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London.
iOrange is the brand new hydration drink developed with bold, thirst-quenching orange flavor to refresh and replenish. iOrange was created to fill the void where great taste meets functionality. With bold, thirst-quenching orange flavor to help you refresh, replenish, and refuel.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Yeah, well, Ian, and welcome to the 7th.
Okay, so thank you very much for tuning in to listen to us today. We'll be back tomorrow, God willing. But as I did announce, stay tuned whilst we bring you BB Means Business in the next 50 minutes thereabout. Stay tuned. And I'll see you all tomorrow. It's been me, Archie. Bye-bye for now.
Refuse to be what you wanted us to be. We are what we are. That's the way it's going to be. If you don't know, you can't educate for no equal opportunity. Talking about my freedom, talking about my freedom, people freedom and liberty. Yeah, yeah, we've been treading on a wine press much too long. Rebel, rebel. We've been taking for granted much too long. Rebel. Yeah, sucking the children day by day. Yeah, Mercedes, the Babylon system. Yes, the vampire, falling empire, sucking the blood of the sufferers. Building church and universities. Oh yeah. Deceiving
listening.